Yo, what's going on, guys? I just watched Transformers Rise of the Beast, and it's occurred to me, look here on the camera, that I haven't shaved. That looks a little goofy right there. For some reason, I have one patch just right here that just grows more than like the rest of my beard. I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but like everything else is actually kind of like the same. But this one right here, it just grows at a different fucking rate for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just more dense. Anyway, I'm here to talk about Transformers. Sorry, I just like looked at the camera and I just noticed that. I'm like, damn, that's a bit awkward. I'll try to hide it for you guys. Here you go. I'm self-conscious now. But the film was fun. The film was good. I liked the film. Transformers. I had never seen a Transformers film. I have to confess this. I have to like fucking go to church real quick. Gotta tell God about my sins. I have not seen a Transformers film before. This is my first Transformers film. I have seen series like Transformers Prime and stuff like that, so I do know something about the lore. I have seen YouTube videos about it because I find it kind of interesting. So I didn't know like a few stuff, but in general, that few stuff that I knew meant shit for this film because they introduced like the Maximilians or whatever they're called. I forgot I forgot what they were called. Fuck. Whatever they're called, they introduced like the basically like the fucking like the ancestor, the descendants of the Autobots or the entire. I don't know. I don't really get it, to be honest. It kind of left me a bit confused. I don't think the film did a good job of explaining it. They talked a lot of things about like past and future. Also, no spoilers here. I'm not gonna be spoiling shit. But they talked a lot about like past and future and all this. Also, I'm a bit sick, so if I sound a bit weird, that's why. Um, they talk about past and future and all this, and I'm like, what? What? How does that? What? What does that even mean? So I was kind of confused by it. To be honest, it kind of confused me. I didn't really understand some of the things that were happening during the film. Or at least like a lot of the lore that they were explaining. The actual film itself was easy to follow, just to be clear. I think that you could go in there blind and be somewhat fine, but not like too fine. I need a shave. But not like too fine. You need to like kind of like just overlook a few things. To be honest, I feel. Um, 'Cause I don't think they did a good job setting things up for like a new viewer. And I don't know if this is like the sequel. I know that Bumblebee is in the same universe, I'm pretty sure. Like the first Bumblebee film. But I don't know if there's anything else that you're supposed to watch before this one. But I at least didn't understand some of the things that were happening during it. Um and all that. But it was like whatever. It didn't ruin the film for me, I feel. It just left me a bit confused at moments, but nothing that I couldn't like just kind of track or just be like, "Oh, okay, I kind of understand." I kind of get it. Um so yeah, the characters in the film were actually really good. I liked the main character that we have that we're following. I like the actual Autobots as well. I like the actual villains as well too, the Scourge and all that shit. Scourge and his henchmen. They were cool. Unicron was there. I mean, Unicron's not really like doing much. He's just kind of like chilling. Um, but I like the villains. I like the villains a lot. They were very menacing and kind of badass. I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, just like yeah, they were just cool. They were just cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Um, it was awesome. It was very fun to see a lot, like a very kind of like I liked Mirage a lot. I liked Mirage in the film. Mirage is one of the Autobots, and he's kind of like the one that's like with our main protagonist all the time. And I fucking really liked it. I really liked like how they kind of like bounced off of each other. It's kind of nice to see, to be honest. It was really entertaining, really fun. So I think that the characters did really fucking good, and their chemistry together, I think really shined through. Some lines of dialogues were a bit awkward, a little goofy, a little like like I wouldn't say cringe. I didn't fully cringe, but definitely like a little goofy, where it's like that's goofy. And there's a lot of goofy moments during the film, but it's fine. Honestly, I overlooked it a lot. Like it was all right. Um, let me talk about the actual plot of the film. No spoilers, of course, just to be clear, no spoilers. Uh, It was fun. I didn't expect to like it considering how much like human stuff it was focused on. 'Cause I was, like with the Godzilla films, for example, I go in there for like Godzilla and shit. And for a Transformers film, the Transformers. And so in Godzilla, whenever the humans pull up, I'm kind of like a bit more bored. I'm like, that's not really what I'm here for. But with this one, I actually liked it. I like the humans a lot. And I feel like that's like an important part of Transformers anyway, because I have seen like the TV show is that relation in between like the Transformers and or at least like the Autobots and the humans trying to like coexist and shit, and then them kind of like learning to protect like the planet or whatever the fuck. So that entire arc was that entire arc was pretty good. I I liked it. I fucked with it. So yeah. Music wise, I want to talk about the music in this film, and then I'll talk about action afterwards. I feel like it's a mixed bag. Sometimes it's like fine. I'm like, yeah, this is a fine choice. It's a good decision. I like this. Flows well. It's all good. Other times it's like I don't like this. I don't like this. And it's kind of like weird. Like I know towards the end of the film they had like an awkward song choice to me at least. Obviously, it's up to interpretation. I thought it was awkward, but it didn't ruin anything for me at the end of the day. It was just fine. And then let me talk about the action, I guess. So, yeah, the music's alright. The music's alright. Let me talk about the action. It was fucking brutal. I actually kind of enjoyed it. The only thing I don't like about it is that sometimes I feel like the characters blend together, considering that they all have like this gray. At least like the villains for sure do have this more grayish color. So it's kind of like a bit more awkward to tell them apart. But like the actual Autobots themselves are really easy to tell apart. Actually, they're like super easy to tell apart. They stand out. They have very like unique colors. But a lot of like the villains are all kind of gray and stuff, and even some of the actual like Optimus Primal, which is like the gorilla guy. He also kind of like is grayish, and I found it like kind of hard to follow sometimes. And yeah, even the beginning of the film, by the way, like at the actual start, obviously no spoilers. I was confused talking about like the lore stuff as well. I know instead of mentioning action, but I'm bouncing around a bit. Um, the lore kind of left me confused at the start. I didn't really understand like who the people were there and all that stuff. Um, that's like one thing about the film that's just kind of like I feel like they could have done better explaining things. I don't know how they could have, but I feel like they should have done better explaining things. But that's whatever, honestly. It didn't ruin it for me. I still kind of could keep track of what was happening. It wasn't too big of a deal. But yeah, no, the action, back to that, brutal. Fucking brutal. Just like swords fucking being rammed into people's like fucking chest and shit, ripped out. Like, fuck. Like, damn. Like, damn, bro. It was fucking. I was surprised. I was really surprised. But it was fun, though. It was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was like brain happy watching all that shit happen. The comedy was also good. I thought it was actually like kind of like a funny film. Not like I'm laughing my ass off every single time they tell a joke, but every now and then, like Mirage and like the main protagonist will like say some shit together. Also, he won't say main protagonist because I only remember his nickname and not his actual name. um, that's I want to say it's Gabriel or some shit. I'm not sure. It's actually Noah. Gabriel, some guy I knew from high school. I remember his nickname, but not his fucking real name. I'm just like that's the one that they called him a lot during the film. I was called by his nickname, I guess. Sonic is fucking just kind of him and Rogers like they bounce off well together. They have a good synergy. The other like Autobots and stuff, I keep on saying Maximilians, but I don't know what they're called. The like I know it's at the letter M or some shit. But them and the Autobots towards like the later half of the film, I feel like the synergies really work a lot better within the characters. Towards the beginning, I feel like they were kind of awkward off of each other. At least that's how I felt about it. Is where I found like a bit of awkwardness there. but towards the end, they actually kind of like pick it up a lot more, and you could like kind of feel it. So yeah, good film, fun film, very goofy, a lot of goofy stuff. It does its own thing, and I kind of appreciate that. So let me talk about the score then. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to score because I enjoyed the film. Had a fun time. But it has flaws, I feel. Flaws in terms of like just like the lack of like the actual building. Some moments where I feel like the writing and the character interactions weren't as good. Like Mirages I think were perfect. Those were like really fucking good and outstanding. But some of the other ones were like a bit awkward to me and didn't quite work as well. The action scenes though were really fucking good. Uh I want to say a 7 out of 10. Honestly, it feels weird since I gave like Spider-Verse just a bit ago like a 9.5 out of 10. And that film I do think it's a lot better. But it's also like I feel like I'm weighing these films a lot differently at the same time. But I think a 7 out of 10 is kind of fair for Transformers. It's really fucking fun. I think you'd enjoy it, to be honest. I think someone going in there would just enjoy it. It's a surprisingly good plot and shit. Um, yeah, that's just it. I just think it's like surprisingly good. It's really good. It's really fun. It'll have you. I know in my theater people were like cheering and shit. These are the Transformers fans in my theater. They're like cheering and shit. The guy next to me in the actual theater, bro, it was kind of goofy. He had like his own fucking soundboard on him. Like he was like a soundboard. So he just keep on making sound effects like oh, hmm, the entire film. And I didn't have the heart to tell him to stop doing that. And I'm trying to watch the fucking movie. At some point, I just kind of ignored it. And he actually did stop at some point, but during the beginning of the film, he just kept on making like sound effects the entire time. It's kind of odd, but that's like whatever. Um, that's about it. That's all I gotta say about the film. I'd say if you don't have any Transformers knowledge beforehand, maybe do like a bit of research on yeah, just do like a bit of research on like what they are and like that whole lore, just to kind of like get a bit caught up with it and make sure you know who the characters are before you go in. But if you like know shit, you've seen like some of the animated series, you like have watched like stuff about it, then you'd probably be fine. You'd probably be okay. You can like track it really well. But that's about it. TBH. I'm not gonna do a spoiler section for this one. And let me explain why. I don't really feel that good. I'm kind of sick right now. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. So I don't want to like keep on talking more and kind of try to like rate this film because I feel like I don't know, my head's a little cloudy, a bit more cloudy. So I don't want to like kind of get off and then start doing spoiler sections where it's like talking for like another fucking 20 to 30 minutes about it. So yeah. For sure for the next films I review, which I think will be The Flash, Oppenheimer, and Barbie, those will have spoiler sections. I will talk about spoilers for those. But that's when that like happens. That's like a bit from now. So yeah, the next review will be for The Flash. Unless like I watch something beforehand, which I doubt, but you never know. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one and like and subscribe. Sorry, I had to do the YouTuber thing, you know. Peace out, guys.